Race 2 of the weekend for the GT4 European Series here at Paul Ricard, set to get underway. Glorious sunshine, perfect conditions to go racing, and a very full grid indeed, because we have the cars stretching their way back all the way down the pit straight with this monster grid of 42 of them set to go racing. It was a lively race yesterday with lots of discussion post-race and protests and appeals, and the race winners, Simon Knapp and Alec Udell, but discussion about other incidents going on long into the night. David Addison trackside, our reporter Dakota Jane down on the grid with yesterday's winners, Simon Knapp and Alec Udell.
Alec, congratulations. What a great race it's going to be. As you see, Stefan Rattel's just joined to wish him luck. Great race yesterday. Today's another tough race. Have you seen all the mountain cars behind you? But you're probably not worried about what's behind you. You've got nothing in front of you.
Exactly, that's the plan. Simon drove a great second stint yesterday. I brought the car in second. He was able to make the pass for the win yesterday, and so very happy with that. The MDM team had a great race yesterday, so looking forward to another good one today. Like you said, we got our eyes forward, not really worried about what's behind us too much. So
it's going to be the same as yesterday?
That's the plan.
What's the strategy of yesterday?
Just run, go win.
Go with the wind. I like your spirit. Good luck.
So Alec Udell will do the second stint today, because it's one driver, one session, and you start the race for which you have qualified. So Alec Udell qualified for race 1. He started it. He will do the second stint today. It means that Simon Knapp's already bolted into the car, 3 minutes to go to the start, and Jan Kisschiel lines up alongside. Now, yesterday's result was shuffled and juggled quite a lot, but it was a win for Simon Knapp and Alec Udell. Ricardo van der Ende and Ewan Mackay made it a 1-2 for the BMW M4, and then for third place, Koen Bogarts, Mark van der Aar making it a 1-2-3 for the BMW M4. The best non-BMW was 4, Julien Darras and Jamie van der Balk in the end, after 1 or 2 penalties had been applied. Let's hear from the drivers of number 4 Mercedes. Max Cobalt is the Dakota.
Max, it's absolutely boiling today here on the grid. Are you going to be able to survive this race in the car?
Yeah, it's pretty hot though. It's now a bit cooler than yesterday. It was more in the afternoon, but still it's hot here, so that's not easy for the drive for the car, but yeah, I think we are strong. Yesterday we had a good pace. The start was quite okay. Yeah, and if Jan does a great job keeping it to the front, I think the same thing in Brands Hatch will be possible.
What's the plan for today?
Be in the front at the start, and then yeah, finish it P1 hopefully.
Now, I've just talked to Alec next to you, and he seems pretty confident. Do you have more confidence than him?
Yeah, I think they are in the beginning quite strong. We just have to be at the tail. I think overtaking in the beginning will be difficult with them. They have a lot of top speeds. But in the second part of the race, we are very, very strong. So we have to get it from there on. Strong
start and strong finish. Good luck.
Thanks.
Brands Hatch winners, as he says, Max Cobalt with Jan Kisschiel. Goes to have a word with fellow countryman Simon Knapp in the BMW, so it's BMW Mercedes at the front of the grid. Third on the grid is going to be the number 8 BMW of Ewan Mackay. So should we go for a walk up and have a look who is where. On the pole position, Simon Knapp's black BMW. Jan Kisschiel starts the Lippert yellow Mercedes alongside. On the second row, Ewan Mackay in number 8 BMW. And then yet another of these M4s, Paolo Maloney, going first. On the third row, Akhil Rabindra given a penalty yesterday. We'll come to penalties in due course. Marius Zug's BMW lines up alongside. Then the yellow Mercedes of Aurélien Panis, Olivier Panis' son, and 16 Reinhard Koffler, whose car was also given a penalty yesterday, the KTM. Then Benjamin Lessen, number 14, double Monza winner in the McLaren, and alongside him in the blue BMW there you see of Kem Bolobaski. Then it is Ivan Yakumo's Porsche Cayman alongside David Griesner. Next up comes Charlie Fang in the blue McLaren and Lucky Treff's yellow Mercedes. After that, there's 36 Alpine and Pierre Sonsinena. Phil Hill was in the wars yesterday with the KTM. He lines up ahead of Mark van der Aar and Francesco Pastorelli in the Camaro. Treble 7 is Jan Reinig, and in the yellow Aston there, Clement Zeiler. The Cedric Freiberg house in the red Audi alongside Max Lobe in the Ginetta. Alain Ferte was a class winner yesterday in the Alpine. He's got Will Moore for company ahead of 88 there, which is Robert Consani, and 7 is Jamie van den Belt. Then there's Dominic Albert and Lukas Kreschke ahead of Bernhard Laber and Jan Kasperlik. Then Guillaume Romain, Philippe Baetke. Guillaume Dumouriez is alongside Nicky Leutwiler. You've got newcomer to the championship in 27, which is Frank Leherper alongside James Holder. Then there is Johan van Arum alongside Lisette Brahms, Eric Mouet and Stephen Patrick. And at the back of the grid should have been number 66, but missing after an engine problem yesterday, the car of Oleg Karuk, that Fiona James is there, having had fuel pickup problems in the qualifying session. So a non-starter is 66 then from this second race for the GT4 European Series, and that 66 Mercedes has had no luck at all year. Crashed in the testing at Monza, crashed in the first race at Brands Hatch, and then an engine failure yesterday. So 66 yet again is going to be, I'm afraid, not able to be on track, and everybody else, however, is good to go. So 41 cars, that's what we have as the field turns now down through turn 4. So there will be a mandatory pit window for these cars. That's going to be between 25 and 35 minutes of the race, and it's 1 minute and 45 seconds, 105 seconds, that is the pit stop time, line to line. Now, said there were quite a few penalties floating around after yesterday's race. The class-winning Maserati got one for causing a collision, and although the race director said it was a racing incident and no penalty applied, the stewards overruled that, gave a 30-second penalty. So the Maserati dropped back. Akhil Rabindra, number 18, along with Florian Tomat, they were given a 38-second penalty for an incident with Mads Siljehaug and Phil Hill. There was a 38-second penalty yesterday given to the Ginetta of Lucas Ibanez and Max Lobe for getting involved with 61 Tom Wood. There was also a 38-second penalty for number 16 Patrick Niederhauser and Reinhard Koffler for getting involved with the BMW number 111, driven at the time by Gabriele Piana. Phil Hill gets a grid drop of 5 places for an incident. Ewan Mackay, wrong one, Dan Mackay's car gets a grid drop of 5 places. Andy Merrick, now for Stephen Patrick, grid drop of 5 places for causing a collision with car number 13 of Mark Baseng. It was all happening post-race, so there are so many different versions of the results floating around. The only constant being that Simon Knapp and Alec Udell were the winners, really. That was the easy bit of yesterday from the similar BMWs of Ricardo van der Ende and Ewan Mackay and Koen Bogaerts and Mark van der Aert taking third. This is the view from onboard treble 7. Jan Reinig starts in this race, coming now through the chicane north. So the formation lap almost at a close. The cars will accelerate away into the race. It's 1 hour, so they don't stop on the grid, of course. They go straight into the race, and it's a rather strung out field at the back, as you can see, but everybody should get themselves in the 2x2 formation. Wins this year: Monza, double victory, Dan Mackay and Benjamin Lesen in the McLaren of Equipe Vasseur, and then at Brands Hatch it was a win for the KTM in the first race, Reinhard Koffler and Patrick Niederhauser in the second, Jan Kischiel and Max Kubolt. And yesterday, another victorious combination, Simon Knapp and Alec Udell racing in Europe for the first time. He was the youngest driver, Alec, to race in the Pirelli World Challenge, but now coming into European racing to try to further his career. I mentioned going through the grid, the car of Kem Bolobese and Ibrahim Okiai. Well, Kem Bolobese is the Red Bull Formula 1 esports driver, and Jem Bolobese will be one to watch as he adapts now to circuit racing rather than e-gaming. So Jem Bolobese lining up on the 5th row of the grid, the blue BMW. Good effort by Jem yesterday. Right, we're good to go racing then. Everybody now gets themselves into formation up towards the timing line. The black BMW is on pole position then. That's the car of Simon Knapp. Jan Kischiel lining up alongside him. Then on the 2nd row of the grid, Ewan Mackay, the white BMW, Paolo Meloni alongside him, pole on the outside line as you look at it, but it's the inside for the first corner, which is a left at turn 1. So that's the grippy racing line. Is it going to be another BMW route like yesterday? We're about to go racing and find out as the cars head up now towards the timing line. The lights on the gantry are red. When they go green, we will get underway any second. Now the lights change and the race underway, and a good start is made by Simon Knapp from pole position. They're 4 wide in midfield. This is going to be a real hard-in-mouth job down towards the first corner. Are they all going to survive? It is Knapp that leads the way. Then into second place goes Jan Kischiel. This is Jan Reinig's view. Cars to the left, cars to the right, but actually they've been remarkably well behaved going through the first sequence of corners down towards turn 3. One of the Alpines runs out wide, not alone in doing that. It's an Alpine line, clearly, as down towards the right at turn 3 comes the race leader, Simon Knapp. He's got Jan Kischiel up behind him. Third, it is Ewan Mackay. And the field accelerates down towards the Virage du Camp for the first time. Then number 12 BMW coming under attack as cutting the corner on the inside line goes Charlie Fagg in the blue McLaren. gets himself up then ahead of Blancpain as the car's round the right at Soundbone for the first time. Jan Reining hard at work, he's got the Ginetta ahead of him there in the hands of Max Lobe. And now they power their way onto the Mistral straight for the first time. The Mistral broken by the chicane that they will have. The start is under investigation. There's been a debris on track at turn 1, we understand as well. BMW leads Mercedes, leads BMW, leads Mercedes, leads BMW, leads McLaren. So there, in 6th place, is the car of Benjamin Lessen, the Equipe de Sure car. That dominated at Monza. And there, the Alpine goes wide, 36 coming out of the chicane. That's the CMR car, Pièce Sinena, starting today. Leaders then go through the right-hander at Signy for the first time. Still the field pouring its way out of the chicane, onto the Mistral straight. And Simon Canap trying to build the advantage then now over the rest of them as they turn through Toulon. In 2nd place, it is Jan Kissiel, and then 3rd, Ewan Mackay, the car that he shares with Ricardo van der Ende. So Ewan's task here is to try to keep it in the mix so that Ricardo has a good chance in the 2nd part of the race. Ricardo van der Ende led for the bulk of it yesterday, but Ewan Mackay lost out to Simon Canap. The interesting one is going to be that Mercedes between the two of them, the one at Brands Hatch. Ewan Mackay 3rd for Eckers Motorsport, then in the BMW comes through the left-hander at the Virage du Lac up towards Virage du Pont, and then the end of lap number 1. There the Equipe de Sure McLaren going nicely ahead of Reinhard Koffler's KTM. Paolo Maloney, number 71, BMW has dropped back a little bit, almost into the clutches now of Marius Zug as they come over the timing line. You've got also battles going on in the overall competition as well as Silver and Pro-Am and Am Cups, and over the timing line, Canap, Kissiel, Mackay. Aurélien Pani's up into 4th place, good first lap ahead of Benjamin Lessen. 6th is Koffler, 7th is Maloney, 8th is Zug, 9th is Chembalbazi, and then 10th is Akil Rabindra. Not anymore, I don't think, because there Charlie Fagg gets past him going through turn 1 into turn 2. So Charlie Fagg, who was quick at Monza, second in the first race with Michael Benyia here, making good progress here. The top 3 down now towards turn 4. We're getting track limit warnings already, perhaps inevitably, with such a full field. There, a place change, Benjamin Lessen up to 4th, then ahead of Aurélien Panis. So the Equipe de Sure McLaren goes through. Franz Verschure's team onto the Mistral straight now comes the Monza winner, and the way that that's going is looking pretty impressive now for perhaps more places to be gained. Also, have a look at Reinhard Koffler, the best of the KTM. So it is the black car in the background that has just done the absolute best in Sector 1. So Koffler making progress. The field now turning up out of the chicane once again. In the midst of all of that, Akil Rabindra in the number 18. Aston Martin on the back of 2, which is little Treffs. So Treffs gaining ground on this lap. The Leipert car hustling on. The only Audi in the race, you way back in 23rd place. We've only got one of the Audi R8s this year. Cedric Freiberghaus driving the Phoenix car, and he's got a lot of work to do as the field now turns through Toulon. You can see on the graphic there who's maintained station and who's gained places. So an awful lot of shuffling going on. Green for gaining, red for dropping down the order, and with nearly 5 minutes of the race done, Simon Canap's advantage, 0.482 of a second. Replay of the start, which is being looked at, 1 or 2 perhaps a little bit untidy, but the officials are having a look at that to see whether anybody needs to be penalised for their zealotry off the grid. Simon Canap leading down towards turn 1. Jan Kissiel slotting in behind, and on the outside line, Ewan Mackay in 3rd place. Now the gap's extending just a little bit. Simon Canap getting away, but Benjamin Lessen, fastest lap of the race in 4th place. Now this is a replay of the start on board with Jan Reining in the Mercedes. And as the lights change, he accelerates away, moves to the middle of the road, trying to find himself clear track space. So Jan Kissiel coming under attack now, number 4 from Ewan Mackay's BMW, and they're both being caught by Benjamin Lessen, who's done the fastest lap of the race then in the McLaren. The Equipe de Sure car yesterday got a penalty, so dropped down the order, but today Benjamin Lessen going great guns. Through goes the pale blue BMW of Blancpain. And that car currently running in 9th place, so Blancpain doing a good job here. Up towards the chicane they come. Nap on lap 3, leading Kissiel. Ewan Mackay 3rd. Benjamin Lessen still doing absolute best in the sectors. He's on the back of the BMW. He's up the inside. He's over the curb. That could have been very expensive indeed virtually straight lines it because he couldn't get the car slowed down in time. Now, is the McLaren going to give the place back? Yes, he is. Benjamin Lecen does exactly the right thing there. So side by side for second, Mercedes versus BMW, but Benjamin Lecen dive bombed them. We've had the change for second. Mackay goes through. You could argue that Kissel was delayed in avoidance there, and that's played into the hands of Ewan Mackay. But Benjamin Lecen was fourth and gave the 2 places back, realising that he gained an advantage by going straight on at the chicane. So he doesn't get any advantage at all out of all of that, and he slots back in fourth to do the hard work all over again as 1-1-1 Marius Zug goes through the shot. The RN Vision BMW. So Kishil wants his place back, absolutely, and he's there on the tail, as you can see, of the BMW. Ewan Mackay at the helm of it. Kishil tries to prise open the door as they come now through Galabin up towards the Virage du Lac, but the BMW hangs on to its second place, all of which is playing into the hands of Simon Knapp, the race leader, getting away. Big turn sharp right once more up towards the timing line. Simon Knapp making good his escape here, but the Silver Cup McLaren is the one looking menacing as far as gaining more places imminently is concerned. Looking at the tail of the cars, BMWs, Aston Martins, the Porsche Cayman, 718 shaped Cayman goes through in the hands of Ivan Yacomo. There to the inside line you see is Kishil, and all over the back of him is Benjamin Lecen. We've had drama at the Virage du Pont. That is what's left of the Mercedes. That's Jan Reinig's car. It's going to be a safety car, I would have thought, to get that out of the way. And clearly he's not been the only driver involved in that as he tries to get out of harm's way. There's another car limping down the pit straight, look. Well, debris on the road, a broken car. There's going to surely be a full course yellow or safety car to clear all that up. And trying to work out who's the other one that's been involved in that. It was something dark blue in livery, which was parked by the side of the road on the inside of the circuit. Here's the replay. And Reinig has already got broken suspension by the look of it, and then as he comes across the road, he's glanced by, was that an Alpine? Yes, it was, but there'd already been something, because as the car was spinning, there was broken suspension, and the full course yellow is called for. Well, some responding to that better than others. Full course yellow slows everybody down. Look, some are overtaking. Is that the leader? Limping along. And this might take a little bit of unravelling here, because clearly some drivers have responded better to the full course yellow than others. Look what's going on here. So there is 26, not the leading BMW, that's Mark van der Aar. Right, I think perhaps he was giving places back. There's the leading car, so Simon Knapp, it is ahead. Full course yellow called for. Ewan Mackay running second. Jan Kissel third. Benjamin Lecen fourth. There fifth is Reinhard Koffler. Sixth should be Aurélien Panis, it is. Seventh, Paolo Meloni. Tick. Eighth, it should be Marius Zug, but it wasn't. So there, look, broken suspension. Either pitching the car into a spin or contact has already caused that spin and the suspension damage. And then the Alpine gets drilled as it comes through. So there is Paolo Meloni. Right, Marius Zug should be next. Yes, we've got him in the right place now, ahead of Jem Bulukbazi. Then Charlie Fang in 10th place, Mark van der Aar, Lucky Trevs. Yes, so after some drivers responded rather better to the full course yellow than others, I think the order is now as it should be, and the full course yellow is now going to be brought into a safety car, so you get everybody to slow down instantly. And then the safety car bunches them all up, so there's one line, and that means there's more space for the track workers to try and clear up the mess at the last corner. So full course yellow into safety car, and the car's now up to the completion of lap number 4. There's the Alpine trying to be pushed out of harm's way. The track will want to be swept. The officials will want to make sure there aren't too many bits of car on the road. So now the safety car will accelerate away. Everybody will slot into place behind, and we will get the incident cleared up as soon as possible. So Simon Knapp's advantage disappears, of course, now, because everybody will sit on his tail. Field turning through. Simon Knapp, Ewan Mackay, Jan Kissel, Benjamin Lessen is still that danger in 4th place, especially now with this safety car bunching up everybody. In the classes, the leaders currently in Pro-Am are Paolo Maloney and Max Tresoldi. Should be Paolo Maloney in the car at the moment. In the Silver Cup, obviously, it's Simon Knapp as the race leader. There's a car that didn't get into the race yesterday, 88, which today will be taken over by Benjamin Lariche, but yesterday didn't make the start. Robert Consani driving it at the moment. In the other classes, the AM class is being led by Clement Zeiler, currently 22nd place overall, and then Pro-Am come to in a moment. Let's just quickly catch up on the Jan Reining incident. Now, is there contact pitching him into the spin, or does he just lose it? Contact, yeah, so that's where the suspension broke. So he was hit, turned around, and then bang, got hit again by the Alpine. Marius Zug is under investigation for overtaking car number 12 under the full course yellow. Well, he was ahead at the start of the lap. I think he was just getting his place back, so it should be the other way around, shouldn't it? Anyway, the officials are going to have a look at that, and everybody starting to bunch up now behind the safety car. The other class I think I'd given you was the Pro-Ams. Yes, Maloney and Tresoldi leading. The AMs, Seiler, along with Pascal Bachmann. The Silver Cup as overall. That is Stephen Patrick, is it not, going down the pit lane in his Mercedes. And another investigation is for 88 for overtaking under the full course yellow. That was the Robert Consani Alpine we were just looking at a moment ago. So I think part of it was people not responding quickly enough. Some overtaking was therefore people giving places back. We've also got the mechanical warning flag now for 88 Robert Consani. So the Alpine that didn't start yesterday, drawing attention to itself at the moment. So you've got damage at the front of it. It might even be leaking liquid, of course. So the cars turn through. And Mark Basseng explaining on the message service that the teams have to race control, but 777 was pushed from behind, so it wasn't a spin, it was contact that caused the incident. So that car out of the race, meaning therefore that Dominic Schrammel doesn't get a run today. So the safety car staying out. It's a good way of doing it, this. The full course yellow is called for and everyone slows down instantly. Then, once you've got them all under control, put the safety car out, put them all in one long line, and by having one stream, not a constant stream of cars, then so it gives the marshals more opportunity to clear any mess off the circuit. So the meatball flag, this mechanical warning flag being shown to Robert Consani's Alpine. The leaders come up towards the line once again. There through is the Ginetta. Ginetta's for many, many years a mainstay of GT4, particularly in the UK, but just the one on the grid here. And remember that we will have in 10 minutes' time the pit window opening as well, but hopefully we'll have gone racing by then. Everyone has to make the mandatory stop, driver changes. So down to turn 1 they come, and we've got a number of cars under investigation for an incorrect start, one of which is the Porsche Cayman of Ivan Giacomo, another one is 31 Aurelien Panis Mercedes, 36 of Pierre Sonsinena is being looked at, and yet again 88, which is being shown every possible flag going. That's also being looked at for an incorrect start, Robert Consani. So he's got overtaking under full course yellow, an incorrect start and a meatball flag to his name at the moment as Consani. There's confirmation of who's got his current investigation. Shembolo Bazi's BMW goes through, and this is a replay of the start. Have a look at the gold Cayman, which is near the blue line on the right as you look, because it's slightly out of position. The race director always wants the cars to be directly one behind the other rather than fanning out left and right, and the Porsche was certainly drifting to one side there, so that's why it's incorrect. We're not saying jump, but incorrect. And contact between 777 and number 9 of Guillaume Romain will be looked at after the race. So number 9, it seems, was the car that got into the back of the Mercedes, turning it around at the last corner. So the field turns through with, at the moment, the BMW of Simon Canap leading the way from Ewan Mackay and Jan Kissel there in the yellow Mercedes in third place. Fourth is Benjamin Lessen, and then fifth and sixth as they come through are Reinhard Koffler and Aurélien Panis. Second of those yellow Mercedes. Seventh, the next BMW, Paolo Maloney, ahead of Mario Zug, then Gianbolo Bazzi, and to round out the top 10, Charlie Fagg. Safety car in this time, so we will go back to racing this time through. We're also getting track limit warnings, flags being prepared. There's barely enough room on the message line on the screen for all of this. They're going through his 18, Akhil Rabindra, the Indian driver, who went well yesterday, but then got a penalty for contact, so that dropped him 38 seconds. He fell down the order as a consequence. The race leaders come up towards the completion of lap 6, and we'll go racing this time. Simon Canap will be on his toes then to try and shake off the challenge of Ewan Mackay. 42 minutes of the race to go. And Simon Canap, who knows what he's doing in the BMW GT4 trim, accelerates clear now. Up towards the line he comes. The flashing flag and the numbers you see on the neon display as the BMWs go racing, and Ewan Mackay gets a good restart, even though Simon Canap controlled the pace. And look at Benjamin Lessen also getting a tow. He goes third, and does Ewan Mackay get the lead on the outside line? No, not quite. Not for the want of trying, but that was a good effort. So Ewan Mackay doing one stint, brother Dan in the car that they're battling with does the second stint. So Ewan Mackay's BMW fending off the McLaren that brother Dan Mackay will drive in the second stint. Down towards turn 3 they come. Simon Canap is getting away as Mackay fends off now the new third place man Benjamin Lessen. Fourth is Kissel. Koffler fifth. Up the inside goes Kissel and brakes hard. Then gets up the inside of the McLaren. He's going to go back through on the inside there, going into turn 5 and into turn 6. Good move that by Jan Kissel. Aurélien Panis comes up in the Mercedes to get alongside Reinhard Koffler in the little KTM that scuttles through on the inside line and takes the place. Have a look at the back of Paolo Maloney's BMW as well, because I was wondering whether that might have had some liquid coming out of the back of it as the green flag is waved by the marshal. But back racing, no question about it then, as the cars come along the Mistral straight. Side by side further back, Koffler losing out, is he? Yes, because pass has gone. The BMW, Paolo Maloney gaining 2 places there. Grunt and go up the straight. And a drive-through penalty goes to Marius Zug for overtaking under the full course yellow. So Marius Zug being given a drive-through penalty for overtaking under the full course yellow. I'm sure the team will not be happy about that, but there it is, 1-1-1. Fending off Aurélien Panis for the moment then as the cars accelerate on towards the right-hander at Toulon. Turn through the corner then now on to Bendor, and up the inside goes Charlie Fagg, trying to prise open the door against the BMW, which he does. Goes by, so the Turkish driver, Gianbolo Bazzi, runs wide, off the curb, back on again. So the race leader coming up to the end of lap number 7, Simon Canap, trying to get away. Another drive-through penalty being given to 88, Robert Consani. The field then wriggling its way out of the Virage du Pont, up over the timing line they come now. Damage on the back of the Audi of Cedric Freiberghaus. Another one being investigated for the start is Guillaume Dumoulin as the leaders go by. Simon Canap leading by 1.3 seconds. Now there you've got Ewan Mackay under attack from Benjamin Lessen as the cars come once more out of turn 2. Can Lessen put the McLaren up ahead of the BMW? He's tried it, and he tries again down on the outside line to turn 3. But Ewan Mackay doing a good job here, fending him off. So there is Lessen. He is currently third on the road. And the race leaders come onto the Mistral straight, this being lap number 8. Simon Canap ahead, but chasing after him. This battle between Ewan Mackay and Benjamin Lessen. Drive-through penalty for Ivan Yakumo for an incorrect start. Side by side for second place. BMW just hangs on to the advantage there. So Ewan Mackay doing a really good job of keeping Benjamin Lessen at bay. They're still being chased hard by Jan Kissiel, who is there in 4th place as they come once more onto the Mistral straight. So there, side by side on the outside line is Lessen. Is he going to be able to make the move on the inside coming out of the corner? No, because Ewan Mackay covers that off. They're being caught again by, look, the yellow Mercedes in the background. Jan Kissiel closing up on the tail of them. More drive-through penalties being given for incorrect start procedures. So 88's got a second drive-through to serve there for the Alpine, as now Kissiel comes up to have a go at Lessen, who's still crawling all over the back of the BMW. Through they turn, and still there is a trace of smoke, I fear, out of the back of Paolo Meloni's BMW. It was there again, just on the rear shot there as the car came out of Galabin. Race leaders up towards the timing line. There is the Equipe de Jour McLaren on the back of the BMW for second spot, and Jan Kissiel right behind as they come over the line. This to put lap 8 in the book. Simon Canap getting away. Mackay in second place. Ivan Yakumo is in the pit lane to serve his drive-through. Others may still be being argued about, because Mario Suga certainly not come in number 111. So the leaders turn through, and there Ewan Mackay losing touch with the leader, but maintaining position. Or is he? Because again, Lessen comes up on the outside at turn 3. Can't do it. It's not an orthodox place to try that. What about on the inside line here as Jan Kissiel comes to the outside, trying to get the switch back, which he does. Good move this. The Mercedes almost levels with the McLaren. He's all up the curb going through turn 6, and the inside line for 7 will go back towards Lessen, who goes back ahead of him. Benjamin Lessen goes through once again, picks up the place, and now they sprint along the Mistral straight up towards the chicane Nord. We are just under 2 minutes away from the pit window opening. They turn, braking hard for the chicane now. So Simon Canap leading the way. What's going on lower down the order? There is Francesco Pastorelli in the Camaro. Nicky Pastorelli's brother and an experienced GT racer is Francesco's. He comes onto the Mistral straight 12th. 2nd, 3rd, 4th go through. 5th there you've got Paolo Meloni. 6th is Marius Zug with the drive-through penalty to be served. But Simon Canap 2.3 seconds of the good as Aki Rabindra turns through ahead of Max Lobe. And behind the pair of them is David Griesner in the Pro Speed run Aston Martin. And drama there for the Mercedes of Johan Vannerum from the Sellerslach team. Now, did he fall or was he pushed? Well, first of all, you got the IMSA run Audi rotating. And also off the road had gone the Sellerslach Mercedes. Over the timing line comes the race leader, and the margin 3 seconds now. 2nd, 3rd, 4th go through. Benjamin Lessen again lining up to have a go. Lessen has done the fastest lap of the race, of course, but he can't find a way past the M4 BMW. Flashing of the lights from Jan Kissiel. Doesn't do him any good, but they're there, why not do it? And it might just cause Benjamin Lessen to miss a braking point as he looks up at the wrong time, but I rather doubt it. He's so focused on the back of the car in front. Again, look, Kissiel wide in, tight out of the corner. Can he level with the McLaren? No, because Lessen cuts across. Kissiel this time not even afforded the opportunity to go up the curb, so he's stuck there behind. So the pit window now open. If you're at the rear of the queue, you might as well come in early and try and shuffle your way through to the front, but 1 or 2 drivers still having to serve penalties, of course, and have not yet done so. We had 111 serve its drive penalty. Yep, Marius Zug has been in. Out of the chicane go the race leaders this lap 10. So there, number 16, Reinhard Koffler, goes onto the Mistral. And again, Lessen comes up to make a move against Van der Ende. The outside line into Signe, but he can't find a way around the outside. Can he get up the inside going into Toulon? The plan is there, but so is Ewan Mackay, but he gives him room, and Lessen this time commits and goes through. Job done. Benjamin Lessen goes through up into second place. He's worked hard for that, but can Mackay fight back? Can he get back ahead of the McLaren? Lessen for Franz Verscho's team goes through and now tries to pull clear with Jan Kisiel right on the tail of the Equus BMW M4 now. Through they run pretty much together here. Kisiel dive bombs on the inside and he goes through. And is that because the BM's pitting? It is. So early into the pit lane, Ewan Mackay. He'll be able to get out and watch Dan do his stint. Father Paul, former racer himself, here to cheer them on as ever, and a very proud dad watching his two sons at the front of GT4 European racing. Paul rather badly whacked about in a Carrera Cup GB race at Spa a few years ago, but he's made a pretty good recovery, which is great to see. Into the pit lane, the race leader, Simon Canap, gives way to Ali Udal. Now remember, these aren't all that urgent, these stops, and as in, they've got to last for 1 minute and 45 seconds, so they don't have to be frantic. Minute and 45 line to line. It's the same for everybody. There's no extra success penalty, for example, in the pit lane like you find in, for example, the British GT Championship. So the cars come through, and a good job done by Simon Canap. So now Benjamin Lessen, having taken second place anyway on the road, is the race leader. Courtesy of this car pitting, Alec Udell takes over. No refueling, it's just the driver change tyre pressures if you want. Lots of people coming in early. Surprised that Simon Canap was in so soon, actually, because he's pretty much one of the gun drivers, but giving Alec Udell the lion's share of the drive here. Thumbs up from the mechanics. It's all got to be timed, this, to know when to release the car so that at the speed allowed down the pit lane, you will cross the exit line without being under the 1 minute and 45 seconds. And equally, you don't want to be too far over it, because then you're just wasting time. 71 going through, Paolo Meloni in his BMW. The W&D Racing Team car that he will give to Max Tresoldi for the second stint in the race. And Benjamin Lessen still, as I say, having done the best lap of this second race of the weekend for the GT4 European Series. So it's a very busy pit lane at the moment with cars cycling through. Drivers leaping out of one, getting into cars in other cases. You've got Max Tresoldi, Paolo Maloney's BMW, Maloney staying out, Tresoldi to take over. Now we've just had Jan Kisiel do an absolute best in the first sector. There he is, going over the timing line as he's closing on Benjamin Lessen. So Lessen does a 2:14.4 as the fastest lap of the race, but Kisiel is 1.1 seconds back, and now it's a very jumbled order indeed, with all of those cars pitting, rejoining the race and shuffling themselves into order. Gone to, or will go rather, to Patrick Niederhauser. Reinhard Koffler yet to pit, so still maintaining track position as Benjamin Lessen leads the way. And now one car, which is treble one, is it not, which will now have Gabriele Piana at the wheel, getting between him and second place Jan Kisiel. There was a KTM off the road there, I thought I saw a glimpse of. Was that 24, which is the Phil Hill, now Madsiliahor car. And a white flag suggesting there's a very slow-moving car up the road ahead here. Let's try and identify who it is. It's the green Mercedes that bails quickly out of harm's way, sees everybody coming, and quickly exits stage. So the Guillaume Dumouriez Jonglurier Mercedes, I fear that might have been, getting out of harm's way as Benjamin Lessen leads the pack. Now he's got back markers to worry about, because these cars that are rejoining after pit stops, making the road busy for the race leader. Way out wide there goes Gabriele Piana, hustling on. But for Benjamin Lessen, he leads the way, and Jan Kisiel stuck behind the traffic. Gabriele Piana, not slow, the Italian who lives near the Nordschleife and was racing last night in GT3 as well as doing these GT4 races, so he's had a busy weekend here at Paul Ricard. Up towards the end of the lap he comes then, and he will go back onto the lead lap, of course, once the leading car pits. More stops being undertaken at the moment as we get into the second half of the race now. Benjamin Lessen staying out for another lap, but Gabriele Piana effectively now is racing against these cars because he wants to claw back the lost time. So Jan Kisiel can't find a way by. There is the pit stop ready for Max Trasoldi to take over from Paolo Meloni. Ivan Giacomo was given away in 7.18 there to Max Busnelli, and that Porsche Cayman rejoins the road as the leader goes through. Now, where is Alec Udell in all of this? As you see, Meloni in for Trasoldi. So the car that led early on, number 25, BMW in 19th spot. So in gets Massimiliano, Max Trasoldi, and that car 6 when it came into the pit lane. Now there is 25, so you've now got Alec Udell at the wheel of it, 19th over the timing line last time it was, but of course all that's being shuffled around by other people making the pit stops. In theory, it should still maintain the race lead. Its pit stop was 1 minute 45.7, so only 0.7 of a second over the time allowed, which is pretty good, pretty close. It's if you're under 1 minute and 45 that you need to worry. And number 8 BMW has done a stop that's too short, I reckon, 1 minute and 44.8. So number 8 BMW by 0.2 of a second short on the pit stop. So drama potentially with a penalty to come, we'll wait and see, but number 8 BMW short on the pit stop, only by 0.2 of a second though. Away blasts the 71 BMW. 24 Madsiliau back into the pit lane in that troubled KTM, and the race leading McLaren yet to stop, so Benjamin Lessen staying out there. He will give way, remember, to Dan Mackay, and the gap between him and Kisiel is going up. Reinhard Koffler has stayed out for another lap, he's third, and also going nicely Shem Bolobazi, who is now in fourth in the pale blue BMW 55. Was Charlie Fagg, it is now Michael Ben-Yahia. And he has got behind him Duncan Houseman in the Chevrolet Camaro. Race leader in this time with the second place Mercedes of Jan Kisiel and the third place KTM of Reinhard Koffler. So there they are, 1, 2, 3 all down the pit lane. Fastest lap of the race, Ricardo van der Ende now, a 2:13.9, but as I say, that car was short on the pit stop. Number 69 is also being looked at for speeding in the pit lane, the Duncan Houseman Francesco Pastorelli Camaro, as down the pit lane comes the Equipe de Sure McLaren, the race leading car. Jan Kisiel to give way to Max Kubalt, and Reinhard Koffler will morph into Patrick Niederhauser for the KTM. So the other half of the Mackay family, Dan rushes round, and they need to try and get out ahead of, or as close to, these BMWs as they can, but still a bit fearful for the number 8 Ecris BMW in its pit stop time. There is number 25. So into the pit lane comes Jan Kisiel. He gives way to Max Kubalt. Benjamin Lessen, TCR racer, helps to strap in co-driver Dan Mackay as 25. Alec Udell hustles on. Is this going to give him the race lead back? Ricardo van der Ende doing purple sector after purple sector and fastest lap after fastest lap in number 8 as he hustles on behind. There's debris on track at turn 4, incidentally, which is coming out of the Virage d'Hôtel. 31 Aurélien Pan is good to go as well, or now giving that car over, I should say. Number 31 to Stéphane Lemray, the experienced Belgian journalist racer. So 25 gets its lead back here. Over the line will come Alec Udell, but it's going to be close for second. It will be van der Ende, and then Benjamin Lessen, now Dan Mackay, McLaren in third place. Fourth is Max Kubalt, fifth is Patrick Niederhauser. There they are, all in a line. Now remember that the likes of here, Udell and van der Ende, have already been into a stint, so they know what the track is like, know what the car is like. It's going to take Dan Mackay at least a lap or so to get comfortable in the car here. Good little battle rages on between Aston Martin and Alpine down towards turn 1. with, on the outside line in 35, they're looking for track position, Gregoire de Mustier, but he's being fended off by the Pro Sport Performance Aston Martin, Jeremy Sahi at the wheel of it. Gregoire de Mustier slots in behind him in the car, started by Alain Ferte. Number 4 going through, so this is now Max Kubolt. There's a drive-through penalty being given to Michael Blanchemont's Audi for exceeding track limits. There's the confirmation as you look at the race leader at the chicane. Alec Udell leads, goes up through the chicane now. And we've got drive-throughs for speeding in the pit lane. One of them going to 44, Matt George. Another one to number 69, Duncan Houseman. A third one for 77, the Maserati, Maciej Marcinovic. And also 99 of now Under Erdem being given a drive-through for speeding in the pit lane. And as I say, pit stop times will be reviewed as well, but I'm still a bit worried about number 8's pit stop time. So we've got 23 minutes to go, and we're on lap number 14 as you see Michael Benny here go through in the McLaren that finished second at Monza. Benny here for Team GT goes up through Toulon. And so there, number 55, McLaren. Benny here chasing after Houseman. Well, Duncan Houseman's got to serve a drive-through anyway, so that's going to change. There is the Chevrolet Camaro, and Michael Benny here hustles on. The leader goes over the timing line with a margin of 1.6 seconds. Alec Udell to Ricardo van der Ende, who is lapping quicker. Dan Mackay through in 3rd place. 4th is Max Kubolt. 5th, Patrick Niederhauser. And then talking on the road places here because of penalties. 6th, Max Drosoli. 7th, Duncan Houseman. 8th, Michael Benny here. 9th, Florian Thomas. And 10th was Ibrahim Okiai, but will be now Marcus Pavarud. Everybody else funnels down through turn 1. There's the Ginetta, now in the hands of Ibanez. Luke Ibanez for the NM Racing team, crawling all over the back of the BMW in the hands, now 26, of Koen Bogarts. And up the inside of Saint-Baume, and he should go through, but then he's on the outside at turn 7, so advantage swings back to the BMW. The M4 goes ahead of the Ginetta G55 along the Mistral straight. 21 minutes of the race to go. Alec Udell still leads the way. Now can Luke Ibanez get up the inside line here? The Spanish driver has lost a couple of lengths. Suddenly the Ginetta got through the corners, but that 3.7 litre engine car closing up on the braking against the more powerful BMW. Ibanez trying to prise open the door if he can, but as yet he's not been able to do it. And now the cars accelerate on towards Senior. Right, Ricardo van der Ende is under investigation for the pit stop time, and so also is the Porsche of Nicky Leutwiler and Benjamin Mazetis. A 1 second stop-go penalty for number 8, Ricardo van der Ende, for being short on the pit stop time. So he was short by 0.2, but it's a 1 second stop and go. You can't really do a 0.2 of a second stop go penalty, so a 1 second stop go for number 8 for being too short in the pit stop. So a tiny little error like that can have serious consequences. Battle is on here. Duncan Houseman, who's another one that's got a drive through to serve for speeding in the pit lane, bails and does it now. And again, look, more smoke out of the back of that BMW. It's been there race long, 71 now with Max Drosoli at the wheel. Doesn't seem to be affecting the car at all. And a 7 second stop go penalty now for number 21, which is Benjamin Mazetis at the wheel of the Cayman. So that now really does give not only Alec Udell a fair chunk of breathing space, but it also gives Dan Mackay a chance to hustle on with clear road ahead and try and catch the race leader. So stop and go penalties come, drive-through penalties are being given, and Duncan Houseman rumbles his way down the pit lane. So Alec Udell leads the way. Van der Ende will have to serve that stop-go penalty next time around. And there, the Camaro back on track now. Are we going to have, as we did at Monza, a double win here? It was Dan Mackay and Benjamin Lassagne who won both races in Italy. In France, could it be Simon Canap and Alec Udell that win both? Let's wait and see. Maserati serving its drive through the background. Now here, Ricardo van der Ende right on the back of the race leader, but it's all in vain really, because he's going to have to serve this stop-go penalty. Through they come now, up towards the right-hander of Senior. Can the Ecris BMW get ahead at least, and then try to pull clear before it has to come in and serve the penalty? Van der Ende would like to prove he's got the pace, if nothing else. Through comes Alec Udell as the race leader. Ricardo van der Ende chasing after him. 0.6 of a second it was, but van der Ende will now be given the message, and naughty, rude words will go through his mind. In fact, he seems to have just backed out of this a little bit. Perhaps this is now when the message has got through, so he will come to the pit lane this time and serve the drive-through penalty. So the pressure taken off Alec Udell. Another drive-through is being given for pit lane speeding to Michael Blancpain in the IMSA entered Audi R8. Over the line then goes Udell. So Dan Mackay in the McLaren will get up into second place, but he's a long, long way back actually. The McLaren not being able, it seems, to do much about the car ahead. 7 seconds now being the margin. And away goes the Ecris BMW. Ricardo van der Ende, grumble, 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 will go back into the race. Now where's that going to drop him to? Just an Akhil Rabindra and Florian Thomas car go over the line. More come pouring through. So number 2 Mercedes at a pinch, I would offer you 9th place now for Ricardo van der Ende. Might be even worse than that, we'll see. And Patrick Niederhauser charging along in the KTM. As you look there at Michael Benya here, who's now up into 6th place. He has got right on his tail Florian Thomas in the Aston Martin. Ahead of the pair of them is the Max Trasoldi-driven BMW, and Florian Thomas now perhaps lines up to make a move coming on to the Mistral straight. Can he find a way by? Not there, he can't. Not for the want of trying, though. Ricardo van der Ende has done the best lap of the race. 56 McLaren through. That's now got Christian Danner behind the wheel of it, the former Grand Prix racer. Class winners yesterday, Christian Danner and Bernhard Laber, after a penalty was given to the Maserati. And Christian Danner, former Grand Prix racer, he was the very first Formula 3000 champion back in 1985, Alfa Romeo DTM racer, inveterate enthusiast, and broadcaster on Formula 1 when time permits as well. These days, graded as a bronze thanks to his age, and that puts him in the AM Cup, but he's going nicely there in 18. Sideways, is this a lose coming up? Florian Thomas just about saves it there as he hustles on behind Michael Benya here, but Florian Thomas oh so close to getting it wrong though as he went through Toulon. Makes the climb here. So Benya here, all over the back of Max Tresoldi, tries to prise open the door at the Virage du Lac. That's going to put him on the outside line for the Virage du Pont. And up the inside of the McLaren, tries to go the Aston Martin. Florian Thomas almost levelling with Benya here as they come onto the pit straight. The BMW doesn't know from which car to defend. Eventually, the order settles as the same. BMW, McLaren and the light flashing Aston Martin behind with 15 more minutes to go as they boom past the pits here. To the inside line goes Michael Benya here, and he's going to gain the place. Is he late on the brakes? Yes, Benya here goes through, and that puts him up into 5th position now. Michael Benya here for Team GT goes by. So Michael Benya here, the Moroccan driver, goes through, gains one more spot. Florian Thomas tries to go after him, but the BMW in the hands of Max Tresoldi, for the moment at least, just fending them off. Florian Thomas up the inside and goes through. So the Aston Martin in the hands of the Swiss driver, the Pro Sport Performance car, goes through, and Florian Thomas gains the position. So Florian Thomas up one spot. What can he now do relative to the opposition? So Udell to Dan Mackay, gap widening. In fact, it looks like the BMW has pretty much nailed this. 14 minutes still to go. Now, what about Dan Mackay being caught? Max Kubolt's going after him and bringing that gap down just ever so slightly as Thomas and their Tresoldi continue to squabble. Florian Thomas, though, is staying ahead for the time being, at least. a good effort being put in this by Florian Thomas and also by Michael Peña here as Tresoldi rounds senior. And now the cars accelerate down to the long looping right-hander of Toulon. So where's the next fight going to come from in all of this? Kubot catching Mackay, Patrick Niederhauser not really closing on Kubot, it's got to be said. The KTM a little bit breathless around here, so 4th place for that car is a pretty fine effort, you must confess. 14 more minutes of the race remain as Tresoldi runs a little bit wide up the curb there, loses a fraction of time to the cars ahead of him. So 50 was at the start of the lap, 7th come the end of it. Frustration for the team, frustration all round really. Through they turn, and the race leader, Alec Udell, now 7.5 seconds to the good. Patrick Niederhauser, having said that he wasn't catching, has just done an absolute best in the last sector and is lapping now quicker than the 3 ahead of him. Van der Ende still with the best lap of the race, and Van der Ende was 11th last time through. Race leaders for lap 19 down towards turn 4, and there you've got the Ginetta of now Ibanez. Now Ibanez has got himself into 8th at the expense of Marcus Pavarud, who you see before him, see behind him rather I should say, and the Mercedes dropping back a little bit here. So Ibanez going after Max Tresoldi in the BMW. He's going to make up 3.2 seconds, but he's taken a couple of tenths out in the first sector. So with 12 minutes to go, the Ginetta has a chance, I think, of gaining ground before the end. The team manager of the team speed car Alpine to the stewards at the end of the race. That was the one that got an incorrect start, a drive-through, a meatball flag, all sorts of woes for that car. Didn't even do yesterday's race. That's Patrick Niederhauser through, chasing after Koffler. Now Dan Mackay has just done the absolute best in the middle sector. So as Koffler rides the curb coming out of senior, so Dan Mackay doing his best to bring down the gap to the race leader. Patrick Niederhauser, the Swiss driver, throwing everything at this. The KTM, a winning car at Brands Hatch, very different type of circuit from Paul Ricard. And he's doing everything he possibly can now to get onto the back of Max Kubot for 3rd place. An incident between Jean Gloria and Julien Derrat will be investigated after the race. The sellers like Mercedes and the street art Aston Martin. Over the line there goes Alec Udell, and his lap was a 2:14.8. Dan Mackay at 2:14.3. So the gap down by half a second, but it's still 7 seconds between those two. And then a further 1.5 seconds back is Kubot, and 1 second behind him is Patrick Niederhauser. So still shuffles can happen in this race, no question. Next man through is Michael Peña here, Florian Thomas 6th. You can see the way that Tresoldi is dropping back there in 7th place. 8th is Luc Ibanez, 9th is Marcus Pavarud, 10th is now Koen Bogarts, 11th there you see Ricardo van der Ende, 12th is Jeremy Sailly, 13th should be Nicolas Scherl in the Cayman, the pale blue Cayman it is, 14th is the recovering Duncan Houseman, and 15th Ibrahim Okyai. After that, the Julien Derrat, the yellow Mercedes of Stéphane Leverret, Marc Martin, Gabriele Piana, and 20th Matt Cowley, the very quick British driver, ex-single-seater gun. He's in 20th spot in the Academy Motorsport Aston, run by Matt Nicol-Jones's team. 26 goes through, that's Koen Bogarts going after Marcus Pavarud. 10 minutes of the race now to run. Patrick Niederhauser, absolute best in the first sector on this lap. So Niederhauser in the KTM really is charging along, trying to catch up to Kubot, and he needs to do that really through the corners. You see Koen Bogarts getting himself onto the back there on Marcus Pavarud. So this battle's on for 9th place. Bogarts a little bit sideways as he powers out then of the chicane. Peña here still trying to fend off Florian Thomas because that Aston Martin is being driven with great gusto. Behind there you've got the Ginetta going by. So Luc Ibanez still 8th. Now what about Ibanez onto the back of Tresoldi? 2.3 seconds he's going to try and make up, and took 4 tenths out in the first sector. Didn't really gain very much in the second, as you see number 2 Mercedes Marcus Pavarud go by. So the Mercedes in 9th place. Duncan Houseman, I think I've told you, had gained a place. Marc Bossaigne and Gabriele Piana are also gaining ground at the expense of Matt Cowley, Gregoire de Moustier at the expense of Pascal Bachmann. The Ginetta has crawled up to the BMW though in the 3rd sector. Look at this, going great guns now is Gimenez. He's on the back of Tresoldi as they come up towards the timing line. So through they will turn, and as they do so, the lead gap has gone up again. But Niederhauser to Kubolt is down to half a second for 3rd place. Ricardo van der Ende is looking to try to make a move as well against Koen Bogarts. They go down to turn 1. This, though, is for 5th. Benny here and Florian Thomas absolutely has won. Florian Thomas again on the lights, trying to unsettle Michael Benny here as they go down towards turn 3. If anything, it's the Aston that looks the more unsettled, so slides through the corner, gets away with that just about, but oh so close to the back of the McLaren here. They turn. And now onto the Mistral straight. The race leader, just under 8 minutes to go. Alec Udell ahead by 7.5 seconds. They turn with 55. McLaren there. Riding the curve. Michael Benny here trying to keep Florian Thomas at bay. And with 7.5 minutes to go, what can we get? 4 more laps, I suspect, out of this, depending on where Alec Udell is in relation to the clock. So we'll see as there, one of the Silver Cup Astons is in strife. Now where is that? That's on the way down to turn 3, isn't it? Yes, and I fear that could be an Academy Motorsport car. It's Matt Cowley. He was losing places, and now we know why. He's got a problem. So Matt Cowley, sadly, out of the race. Teammate Tom Wood up to 20th place from the back of the grid. But disappointment there. Matt Cowley, another underrated quick driver, as so many are really. GT4 coming to prominence. Parked trackside is there. 55. Michael Benny here turns through. And Florian Thomas lunges up the inside and goes by, up into 5th place. Does he run wide out of the corner? Does he give Michael Benny here the chance to challenge back and in? Well, he goes a little bit wide. The McLaren tries to get up alongside as they come past the pits now and will get its nose in front. Can Benny here get the job done? Yes, he moves across, pulls in front of the Aston Martin, gets the place back. Down towards turn 1 they go, and Florian Thomas not able to lunge up the inside there, so he slots back in behind him. Continues to apply the pressure then as they go through turns 1 and 2. Down towards turn 3 then, past the parked Aston. And now the run up to turn 5. Thomas again thinks about the inside line, thinks better of it though. Can't find a way through there. Now as they ride the curb, coming through the Salboa right-hander onto the Mistral straight. Is this a part of the circuit that's going to favour the Aston Martin, or is it going to be the McLaren that's got the advantage? Behind, look, there is Tresoldi, there is Gimenez, all starting to close, so we're making it a 4-car battle now, 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th. Into the chicane they come, the Ginetta brakes late, the side-by-side behind as well. Van der Ende up the inside of Marcus Paverud, look to see, yep, BMW's gone through. So Van der Ende 9th in background, gains ground after that stop-go penalty. And Paverud, I think, got it all wrong through the chicane there. He was way out wide, and that's going to give Koen Bogarts a chance to come up and have a go at him as well. So there, number 15, Gimenez goes by. Closing on the back of the BMW with Max Tresoldi, that's closing onto the tail of the Benny here and Thomas fight. 5 minutes to go. The race leader is 7.5 seconds to the good. Alec Udell, a great stint being put in this by him. Gimenez challenging Tresoldi there, look, as they come through as one. So Max Tresoldi's BMW just keeping hold of 7th place, but Gimenez will perhaps make a move now on the inside, and he goes through, coming into the Virage du Pont. Up the inside, the Ginetta squirts out of the corner ahead, and so 7th for the Spanish driver as they come up towards the timing line. BMW with all that grunt in a straight line. Fights back though. Nose is in front as they come down towards turn 1. And yes, the job is done back in favour. Tresoldi goes ahead of the Ginetta, which breaks late at turn 1 and goes back through. Fantastic stuff, this. A car that's good through the corners and on the brakes versus a car that's great in a straight line. So trading places all the way around the lap. And Luke Ibanez goes back ahead then, reclaims 7th place, which he held going over the line. 4 minutes of the race to go. Florian Thomas still chasing after and looking for a way past Michael Benya here, and he gets up on the inside line. Door is closed. To the Mistral straight they go. Bit of curb cutting there by Florian Thomas, but he's running out of ideas, I think, as to how to get ahead and then stay ahead of Michael Benya here. He's done it once and then lost out, but he's going to try again, and he can see that Ginetta is not that far behind him either. Down they come through the chicane. So Alec Udell leads by 7 seconds. Kubalt not really closing on Mackay. Niederhauser not really closing on Kubalt. There is Van der Ende, who is 9th, and he might yet gain more places before the end of the race, because look, he's got a real traffic jam ahead of him now. Cars turn out of Senior and go towards the right-hander of Toulon. Bit of damage there picked up on the front of the McLaren, having run wide and attacked the markers. And Van der Ende launches up the inside of Max Tresoldi. Can't find a way through, goes wide, tries another attack. Florian Thomas has done it though, he's got ahead of the McLaren now. So Florian Thomas goes ahead of the McLaren, and with that damaged splitter I was just mentioning, that's going to affect the aero a little bit. So you see the way Benya here straight away loses places and loses ground, and is easy prey for Luc Ibanez, who is right on his tail as they come up towards the Virage du Lac now. Leaders go by, time for 2 more laps, and Ibanez tries to make his move against the damaged McLaren. He's not gone breezing past, he's going to have to work for it. Look in the background, Van der Ende all over the back of Tresoldi. You can see the splitter dragging on the ground as over the line now comes Michael Benya here. You can hear it rattling away as well as he goes past the pits. So Florian Thomas up into 5th, and there Van der Ende through on the inside for 8th against Tresoldi. So this is Benya here, he ran wide. Didn't stay either side of the floppies, he went across them, and that has damaged the under tray, the splitter of the car, and that will certainly affect the aero. He's lost a place to Florian Thomas, and he may well lose more before the end. A lap and a half still to go here. Out of the right-hander of Saint-Baume they come onto Mistral Straight. This lap number 24, and a drive-through penalty now is being given to number 11 of Gabi Ulli for exceeding track limits perennially. Alec Udell, however, is on target for a race win with Dan Mackay 6.9 seconds back, but it's still too big a margin to make up, that's for sure. Race leaders turn again through the chicane. Number 71 goes by, that's Max Tresoldi. And he's fallen back now into that 9th place. Now Van der Ende has got ahead of the Ginetta, has he not? So Michael Benya here was being attacked, but it's Van der Ende that's going to come up and make all the moves in this battle pack. He's got himself now to 7th at the expense of Luc Ibanez. Now that's 6th, easy peasy past Michael Benya here. Through goes Van der Ende. Benya here tries to fight back, but Ibanez gets up the inside of the McLaren and goes through. So attacking was Benya here rather than defending, and he's lost another place. Van der Ende just carving his way through here as the Ginetta keeps the McLaren at bay. Benya here with that damage, losing places. Race leader has just gone on to his last lap of the race. As you see, Van der Ende coming through. Now, could he get onto terms with Florian Thomas before the very end and get 5th place? Let's see. Certainly not going to be easy, but to the right-hander at the Virage du Pont they come. The Ginetta back through on the inside of the BMW, which has to anchor up a bit earlier. The Ginetta, a more nimble car seemingly, but here's the power of the BMW. So Van der Ende looks to his left, sees the Ginetta disappear backwards behind him, and he just gets back ahead of him and gets on with the job down towards turn 1, chasing after Florian Thomas, and the gap is 1.2 seconds between that pair. Ibanez still under attack there from Michael Benya here as they turn through. Way out wide goes the McLaren though, and more damage is being done. So 55 Michael Benya here, it's a good job it's the last lap, because he's now got bodywork caught around the tyre. There's a yellow flag on the Mistral straight. So with now Max Tresoldi 8th at the expense of Ben Yahia. Why do we have a yellow? And can the McLaren 55 get to the end with its increasing levels of damage? That's the reason the marshals are admiring the Porsche Cayman that Max Busnelli has parked selflessly, so they can drool over it. And the Cayman, the 718 iteration on this last lap out of the race. The leader comes up towards Senior, and Simon Canap, watching from the pit lane, sees Alec Udell set to bring the car home for a double victory this weekend. Great job by the team. The MDM Motorsport team got a 1-3 yesterday. There is Luc Ibanez coming out of the chicane, the Ginetta blast onto the Mistral straight, but for Alec Udell and Simon Canap, race win beckons. Through they turn. Ricardo van der Ende still making progress in the top 6 as best he can, having done the fastest lap of the race, but an excellent drive this by the combination of Alec Udell and Simon Canap. And now 55, I think, has picked up a puncture as well, Michael Benny here, with that bodywork caught around the tyre. It's done the car no good at all. And a drive-through penalty was being given to Benny here anyway for driving standards. That will have to be a time penalty post-race, as checkered flag is waved at the race winner. Alec Udell, Simon Canap do the double at Paul Ricard this weekend. Second goes to Dan Mackay and Benjamin Lecen, only just ahead though of Max Kobold and Jan Kischiel at flag fall. Patrick Niederhauser for 4th, and this is for 5th. Florian Thomas is only just ahead of Ricardo van der Ende as they come to the last corner. Van der Ende to the inside line, he's up the curb, contact is just avoided, but the Aston forced out wide. It's going to be a drag race to the line with Luke Ibanez getting it on the axis as well. They're virtually 3 wide as they come to the line. It is just the Aston Martin ahead, I reckon. Looking at that angle, let's see what the timing screen says. Florian Thomas is indeed 5th by 900ths of a second from Ricardo van der Ende. Ibanez 7th, Tresoldi, Pavarud, and then Michael Benny here rounding out the top 10. Now that drive-through penalty for driving standards for Benny here has been replaced with under investigation for driving standards. So we'll wait and see what pans out. Michael Benny here, anyway, he's being looked at for his driving standards, going off the road with the damage, etc., etc. He's 10th on the road. Koen Bungart's 11th from Duncan Houseman, Nicolas Schurl 13th, Jeremy Sari 14th, and Stéphane Lemeray in 15th. The winning AM is 48 Alpine of David Loget and Eric Mouet, which comes across the line to win its class. Max Tresoldi's BMW, incidentally, Pro-Am winner. That's the Silver Cup winner, Simon Canap, and Alec Udell as well as winning overall. So time to catch breath, but a very lively race indeed. But the BMW, certainly the car to beat around here this weekend. So Simon Canap, Alec Udell, the race winners from Dan Mackay, Benjamin Lecen, and then Max Kobold and Jan Kischiel in 3rd place. In the Pro-Ams, Max Tresoldi and Paolo Maloney, the winners from Marcus Pavarud and Lucky Trefts, and then 3rd Pro-Am, Nicolas Schurl in the 22 Porsche Cayman with Jan Kasperlik, and then the winning Am was the Alpine of David Loget and Eric Mouet from Christian Danner and his co-driver Bernhard Laber, the 3rd of the Ams being the Maserati that won on the road yesterday before a penalty came, 77, of Maciej Marcinovic and Lukasz Kreszki. So the drivers will make their way to the Parc Fermé area and then up to the podium. Let's confirm the way they came across the line, at least, with the MDM Motorsport BMW taking the race win. Simon Canap and Alec Udell doing the double here this weekend, with the Dan Mackay, Benjamin Lecen McLaren 2nd. The gap at the end, 5.7 seconds. It had come down a bit ahead of Jan Kischiel and Max Kobold 3rd. Reinhard Koffler 4th with Patrick Niederhauser. Florian Thomas just hanging on to 5th with Akil Rabindra ahead of the penalised Ricardo van der Ende and Ewan Mackay. Luc Ibanez 7th with Max Lobe ahead of the Pro-Am winners Paolo Maloney and Max Tresoldi. Lucky Trefts and Marcus Pavarud 9th, and provisionally 10th Michael Benny here and Charlie Fagg. Julian Darra coming home in 16th place. Philippe Baker with Mark Lecen 17th, and a good effort by Fiona James and Tom Wood from the back of the grid to 19th, with a penalty Marius Zug and Gabriele Piana 20th, Eric Mouet and David Loget 21st to win in the AM competition ahead of Christian Danner and Bernhard Laber. James Holder and Matty George 24th. and Pascal Bachmann and Clement Zeiler, regular front runners in the AM category, a bit further down in this race at Paul Ricard. As ever, a number of non-finishers, some with damage. We lost Max Busnelli right at the very end. Matt Cowley also a retirement. Gregoire de Mustier's class-winning Alpine of yesterday. We lost Dominic Albert, Mansilla Howard too. Also retiring were Guillaume Dumouriez, Gaston Sinena, Cedric Freiberghaus. The Phoenix Audi never really got going in that race, sadly, with damage sustained early on. So, a great win for Alec Udal and Simon Canap. Alec certainly making a name for himself in European GT racing this year. There for Frans Verschoor's team is Dan Mackay, the Scotsman. And then Max Kubolt, the third, with his co-driver, Jan Kishiel. So, helmet off. Very satisfied race winner. Alec Udal puts on his winner's cap. And Dakota is there to have a word with race winners, Alec Udal and Simon Canap.
Alec and Simon, a fantastic weekend for the both of you. Come over here, Simon, don't be shy. Fantastic weekend, Alec. You're putting all these European boys to shame.
You know, we've got a great team with MDM. I've felt very welcomed by Simon and the rest of the team. Mark and Kuhn, you know, everyone's been really great for me. So it's awesome. It's a testament to what car they can put together and you know what I can learn when I come to a track. So we've got a good team, and I do everything I can to learn from them as well.
Simon, happy with the 2 out of 2 this weekend?
Yeah, sure. It's better than every weekend. The last 2 weekends, it's fantastic.
You guys have definitely set the bar for the next few weekends. Congratulations, guys.
So Simon Canap and Alec Udal doing a great job, being marshalled around for the photographs as the Leipzig drivers, Max Kubolt and Jan Kishiel, celebrate second place. And for the Leipzig team, also one of their cars coming home second in Pro-Am. So second silver, second Pro-Am for Leipzig. Handshakes all round. Let's look at the highlights while we wait for the podium to get underway. It began with that great start by Simon Canap's BMW, a bit untidy for 1 or 2, and that meant that the officials were busy looking at potential penalties over the first few laps of the race. The cars working their way down through the turn 1-2 sequence with limited dramas. That would come later in the early part of the race, where this car was turned around and then Jan Reining, having been tapped into a spin, was hit a second time, really wiping the back off that Mercedes. Full course yellow was called for into a safety car. Race got back underway with the BMW of Simon Canap hanging on to the advantage, trying to build that lead back up again as Benjamin Lecen was busy squabbling with a Leipzig Mercedes. There was more drama as around went the insert run Audi, cars scattering in avoidance, but then Benjamin Lecen worked his way up past Ewan Mackay, going second. Into the pit lane came the race leading BMW, Simon Canap giving way early, in fact, to Alec Udal. Battles were raging up and down the field, but a stop-go penalty for number 8 BMW rather spoiled the fun for Ricardo van der Ende. Florian Thomas gained ground at the expense of Michael Ben-Yahia late race, and also trying very hard was Luc Ibanez in the Ginetta. Then Ben-Yahia ran off the road, demolished the markers, but also didn't do a whole power of good to the front of his car, and his driving standards being investigated post-race. So the checkered flag, though, Alec Udal with Simon Canap victorious for the second time this weekend. Great result for the BMW team. So the drivers making their way up to the podium. And Alec Udal and Simon Canap, the winners in the end by 5.7 seconds. Class winners and also the Satina Watch winners from pole positions will be on the podium as well. But at the end of a great weekend of racing here at Paul Ricard, it's a double win for Alec Udal and Simon Canap. We'll see you next time. From David Anderson, goodbye.